think everything's working, and I think I hit live a bit too quickly, but let's go. Let's make it happen. We've got a few minutes before the day actually starts. Let's see if the stream starts. It is starting. The camera is a bit crooked. I'm sorry. I forgot to straighten it out this morning, but that's okay. I won't be having milk in my coffee this morning because the little spinner for the foamer has disappeared. So we are going to have to make do with a black coffee. I am a bit late this morning because I slept a bit longer. You know, I'll always prioritize sleep. And the reason I always prioritize sleep is because I find sleep helps with all of the general health outcomes. So if I get to sleep a bit more when I have a late night, which does happen on a rare occasion, then I want to make sure that I maximize the amount of shut-eye I get. It was 5 hours and 30 minutes yesterday, and that's not a lot. That's far short from the 7 to 9 hours that I aim for. Isaac Guerrero, thanks for dropping by, saying hi. I hope you're doing well, and I hope life is treating you well this morning, wherever you're at. I think it is Wednesday morning, and this Wednesday morning, 6 or 9 a.m., we're going to take a couple of minutes just to talk about walking, as right before I actually go out on my morning walk, because I'm recovering from a back injury and I cannot do weight training or any other kind of training except low impact walking. So time to talk about that. But for anyone who's watching, thanks for dropping by. My name is Toby. I am 41 years old, and I train to live an active, self-sufficient, and adventurous life. I do so by minding my sleep. Just talked about it, but I try to get between 7 and 9 hours of sleep in a night. Do so by minding what I eat. I try to eat within my energy balance, which is about 2,200 calories in a day, give or take. And I try to eat a lot of greens and vegetables, both with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I try to fill up half my plate with lunch and dinner, and lunch usually is a full plate with a little bit of extras on it. And I try to eat up to a certain amount of protein, an amount which I am still reviewing, because I used to say 120 to 150 grams, and I think high protein intake is very good for muscle building while I'm training and maintaining lean mass. But apparently there are also some concerns that other researchers or people who speak about longevity and health have raised about protein intake and long-term health impacts. So that's something that I am reviewing at the moment. Outside of sleep and food, I also show up to train. I show up for strength training, conditioning training, strength conditioning training, mobility training. I try to do things that I enjoy, spend time with people I love and care about, and generally try to live a stress-free life. Now, why is that important to me? Well, that's important to me because we might live to be 85 at the moment, probably going to be a bit older than that. That's the life expectancy. So that means 70 and 80 are well within reach, and that's pretty cool. But I've also understood that despite that being the case, we might also spend the extra years that we get, quite a few of those, battling discomfort and diseases that in some cases are very preventable through lifestyle choices. So I'm trying to review my entire lifestyle at 40 and set myself up for a healthier, active lifestyle for life. The second reason is I have 2 kids. I would like to be an active part of their life. I would like to set a good example for them as a father, as a man, as a husband, as an employee, who knows, maybe as an entrepreneur someday, but show them what is possible in life, and also be an active part of their life. If they're doing the sports and they want to be active with me, they want me to participate, I want to be able to pick up whatever it is we're doing and actually play and have fun with them. So there are quite a few reasons for me to want to be doing what I'm doing. This is about the way I feel, not about the way I look. I want to feel fit, capable, and competent for whatever life is going to throw at me. And I think it's important to just keep that in mind and remember that as the primary kind of like bigger objectives. And every day I have one goal. I try to show up and do at least 30 minutes of work, which would usually be kettlebelling 3 times a week, then mobility 3 times a week, and then a longer run 3 times a week. But last week, sadly, I injured my back. It has been a week, actually, and my path to recovery is absolutely stellar. All of the pain is gone. Still a bit stiff in the back, still slight discomfort in the muscles, but generally it feels like everything is where it's supposed to be. My back isn't hurting, movements don't hurt. I just feel a slight little irritation somewhere at the bottom of my back with some sudden movements, which means that we are doing much better. Hey Mel B, thanks for dropping by. How am I feeling this morning? Well, like I just said, I feel much better, which is really great, right? Something that I can be very happy about and blessed, because I got very lucky. I think that it took 1 week to recover from this. We're going to give it another week of rest, at least. Friday I'm seeing the physiotherapist again. We're going to see what's going on. But I think starting Friday we'll pick up mobility again, but we'll keep walking until we're able to pick up a light weight. We're probably going to start with weights like 6 and 8 kilo to pick up the training again from here. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And I do really appreciate you checking in on me and asking how I'm doing. I appreciate the concern. And I'm glad to see you this morning. I hope you're doing well where you're at in the world. And I hope that life is treating you well. You're having a good start of the day or end of the day, wherever you're at. All right. So all of those things being said, got a few minutes left. Let's just very quickly talk about walking, because I'm doing a lot of walking, and there's actually a reason why I want to quickly address walking and low impact activity in general, right? First of all, health and fitness is very personal. So depending on what your starting point is and depending on where you want to go, the activities we choose to stay healthy and fit should in some way contribute and relate to the goals that we choose and set for ourselves. So for me, that is to live longer without disease and discomfort, and to be able to actively participate in the lives of my children, to have the energy, the stamina, the strength, the mobility, the endurance to do all of the fun things that we want to do. And we can use different movement and exercise modalities to get there, between endurance, strength conditioning, or conditioning, strength conditioning, and strength training. But for walking, there are actually a couple of key improvements we might notice when we start to go for regular walks. And I got onto this topic because someone that I knew developed pregnancy diabetes, which is a condition to take extremely seriously. Thankfully, everything went really well. And they were told to start walking before and after meals, and I thought that was interesting. Intuitively, it made sense, right? I eat something, and then I sit down, and I get like this slight dip. Maybe I start to feel a bit tired or worn out, and I can't really explain why. But of course, there is a reaction in the body to the food we eat. And one of the benefits of actually walking is that light intensity walking after meals will help lower the blood glucose levels. So this reduces the need for an insulin spike, and sometimes that insulin spike maybe is related to that feeling of tiredness and weariness. So planning a short activity doesn't even have to be that long. I think right after a meal, or even a bit before and a bit after a meal, is going to help you feel more energized and better and get a bit more out of the meal you're consuming. I think that's a pretty good improvement we can get just from a light exercise like walking, a low intensity activity like walking. But it could also be moving around in the garden and checking in on the flowers, which is a combination of walking, bending, stretching, picking up, squatting, looking around, being outside. We also see enhanced insulin sensitivity. So when we take breaks from prolonged sitting with short works, this can reverse the negative effects of sitting. We've talked about this. And again, the source keeps mentioning this sensitivity to insulin. So if we improve our insulin sensitivity, our body can better do its job of moving glucose from bloods into cells, and light walking actually can help us achieve that. So in general, I think there's this idea, this mechanism that if we are active, we have better control of our glucose level. And if you look at this particular benefit of the activity, it explains why people say, an active life has advantages over a sedentary life. So just the simple act of walking or picking up a small activity, right, Isaac? Walking is indeed great. Inner City Pigeon, thanks for dropping by and saying hi, and I appreciate the compliment on my jacket. And hi, Energy Ape, thanks for sharing. You're very welcome. Thank you all for dropping by and saying hi, and I hope you're all doing well where we are in the world, that we're all having a good start or end of the day. So there are big health benefits, some of which are immediate, to engaging in light intensity exercise training like walking, for our health, for our fitness, and generally, if we're healthier, we might end up living a bit longer in better health. It's important to look at where this fits into everything, right? Because we talked about different training modalities. So you are not going to, and the stream stopped short of this yesterday, so I'm going to make sure that we cover this today. You are not going to lose weight by training a lot more. You are not going to lose weight by sleeping a lot better. But they are factors that will help you lose weight, but they're not the main drivers of weight loss. And why do I single out weight loss? Well, weight increase over time, and especially developing overweightness and then in some cases obesity, all contribute significantly to poor metabolic health, metabolic syndrome or prediabetes, which can lead to diseases like diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, cancer. There are many detriments to carrying around excess weight if your health markers then start to go off track, which is why that is an example that comes up a lot. The key to losing weight is the management of calories in and calories out, right? So how much are we consuming versus how much are we using? People sometimes say, well, I exercise a lot, so I can eat a lot more. I think I heard this in a podcast yesterday where someone mentioned the number of calories that a professional football player uses on a match day, and that is like 4,000 calories, right? So it's twice as much as we might generally use. I think that was the number that was used. And an ultra elite endurance athlete, like someone biking the Tour de France, might go into the 6,000s or up or something like that. So it is then very strange that the common Joes and Janes like you and me, who sit 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day, think that we can get away with a 3,500 calorie diet because our sports tracker tells us that we've burned 3,500 calories in a day. For whatever reason, it thinks that's the case, whereas that puts us close to elite level athletes on a match day, right? On an intense day where they spend 90 minutes running up and down a field or whatnot. So I'm just saying that it is very easy for us to overestimate how much energy we're actually using, or more specifically, what the plus of energy expenditure is when we do some activity. So when I say add walking to the mix, I don't think walking per se is going to drive your energy expenditure down so dramatically that it's going to be a great weight loss tool, even though it will slightly increase your energy usage compared to walking. But if the goal is generally better health outcomes in terms of the system, in terms of your body, just listed a couple of the advantages. You are standing upright, using your core, you are walking, your heart is pumping faster, it's getting a bit stronger, it's getting a bit of a trigger in an exercise. It helps manage your blood insulin levels, preventing blood glucose levels, making you more receptive to insulin or insulin sensitive. Those are all little factors that will contribute to health overall, but the key to losing weight is finding the right combination between good sleep, good nutrition, and that is nutrition that hits the markers in terms of the calories, the energy that you need, in terms of the macro and micronutrients that you need to get in terms of things you enjoy eating over time, and movement. And movement, a part of the movement regime could be exercise, could be walking, could be something that you want to do low intensity around the block, riding a bike around the block, going for an easy swim, spending some time outdoors, indoors, moving around. It doesn't even have to be the gym, but just the sheer act of activity is probably going to give you some general health benefits. And that's why it's important in the mix. So anyway, I hope that's clear and insightful and helps us put another piece of this puzzle of health and fitness and longevity in place. I'm at the end of my coffee, and it is 6:26. I'm going to put on my walking shoes, and I'm going to go out for a 30-minute walk before I have to start making breakfast for the family. I'm going to go out for a bit of a longer walk after the school run before work starts. Thanks for dropping by, friends. Thanks for saying hi. I appreciate the well wishes. I appreciate you dropping by and letting me know that you're here in chat. For those of you who are watching and are interested, my name is Toby. I'm 41 years old, and I train to live an active, self-sufficient, and adventurous life. I do so by minding my sleep, minding what I eat, showing up to do some strength training, conditioning training, mobility training. I go out for a run every Sunday. I would love to be going out for sprints on a Wednesday morning, but right now all I can do is walk because I'm recovering from a training-induced injury. But thankfully the recovery is going really well. I try to spend time with people I love and care about, do things that I enjoy, and generally live a stress-free life. This is about the way I feel, not about the way I look. I want to feel fit, capable, and competent for whatever life throws at me. I have one goal every day, that's to show up for 30 minutes and do some exercise. If I can do that keystone activity or archstone activity, then a lot of other things tend to fall into place. We're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on, friends. And the only way to get anything done is by showing up and doing the work. So I'm going to turn off the stream, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for dropping by, friends. Take care. And remember, subscribe.